The top stories tonight in Y News. PhilHealth President and CEO Attorney Dante Gueran cries foul over controversies hounding the state health insurance.
Malacanang appeals to the public to give President Rodrigo Duterte and daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio time to settle and decide on their plans for the 2022 national elections.
Metro Manila and 9 other regions in the Philippines are currently classified as high risk for COVID-19 amid rising cases, according to the Department of Health. Remaining Filipinos struggle to get out of Afghanistan.
The family of Sonia and Frank Gregorio, who were fatally shot in Tarlac last December, felt relieved on the court's decision to convict former Staff Sergeant Jonel Nuesca.
And TikTok collaborates with National Cybersecurity Alliance to support the Cybersecurity Education and Career Resources Library. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, August 26, 2021. I am Herlene Delgado.
Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the country and in other parts of the world. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts and our website, untvweb.com. I am William Theo.
First in the news. The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation is now in the midst of controversies, including the unpaid hospital claims, and PhilHealth President and CEO Attorney Dante Gueran could not help to air his sentiments as he faced the lawmakers again. Nel Maribojoc will tell us why.
PhilHealth President and CEO Attorney Dante Gueran said the agency is hurting from the recent controversies surrounding the state health insurance. This includes the issue on unpaid hospital claims.
Kasi parang bugbog na po kami, Mr. Chair. Ito, I'll open my heart. Bugbog na po kami. No less than yan, si Dr. Almora. Tumawag sa akin. Nagsosorry po sa akin na he was just overreacting, Mr. Chair. Ito sasabihin ko na. Anong ibig sabihin po ng overreacting? Eh, nag-overreact lang pala siya. You see? So it's unfair, Mr. Chair, na kami lahat ang mali.
He also said during the House Committee on Public Accounts hearing that he never experienced such kind of criticisms during his tenure as the director of the National Bureau of Investigation.
I was the director for 4 months. Well, hindi ako binugbog ng mga doon, ng mga komentaryo doon. Pero dito nako po kawawa talaga. Pamilya ko po, mga kaibigan ko. Mabuti yung nakaintindi.
Meanwhile, Dr. Rene De Grano, president of the Private Hospital Association, said 2 hospitals already closed due to PhilHealth's non-payment of claims.
Pareho po ang sagot nila. Bakit sila nag-close? Kasi hindi na daw po kaya ng mga hospital na i-sustain ang kanilang operations. Bakit? Ay kasi po, ang lahat po naming nagastos na sa mga hospital na pera namin para sa mga members ng PhilHealth ay hindi po inaibibigay sa amin. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila binabayaran.
But Gueran promised to pay the 60% in process claims of these medical institutions.
Next week, babayaran ito, Mr. Chair. Doon pa rin sa DCPA, Mr. Chair, ang ibig sabihin yan, 70%, 60% rather, kung magkano ang amount na dapat bayaran namin doon sa mga healthcare institutions, ay bayaran kaya kagad yan outright.
At present, PhilHealth is said to have 21.1 billion pesos unpaid claims to hospitals. Nel Maribojoc, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Alliance of Health Workers said they will give the Department of Health until Friday to give them their due benefits. In a radio interview, Robert Mendoza, the group's president, threatens to stage a mass protest if the financial reward they're asking will not be given until the end of the month. He also revealed that health workers were not happy with the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing into the DOH spending of its pandemic funds because it was focused only on the special risk allowance. benefits. Meanwhile, Malacanang said that President Duterte has directed the concerned government agencies to release not only the special risk allowances but all the unpaid benefits to health workers.
Sa mulat-mula po, binibigyan ng prioridad ng presidente ang pagbibigay ng mga benepisyo para sa ating mga frontliners. So siya na po nagbigay ng taning. No ifs, no buts, the SRAs, and everything else that the health workers are entitled to should be released within 10 days. Yun yung pagkakaintindi ko po sa mandato ng presidente. Hindi naman niya po in-specify na SRA lang. Lahat na dapat na ibigay na benepisyo dapat maibigay.
Deliberations for the proposed 2020 national budget have begun in the House of Representatives, but some lawmakers questioned the Duterte administration's priorities in spending the 5.024 trillion peso budget. Nel Maribohok tells us why.
Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas wants to slash the 28.1 billion pesos allotted budget of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict or NTF-LCAC. During the first day of the budget deliberation, the Makabayan Bloc lawmakers emphasized the need to invest more in the construction and upgrading of hospitals amid the pandemic.
Dapat po tanggalin ang pondo na ito ng NTF-LCAC. Ilagay natin ito sa 30 billion, sa mga 30 billion yan. Ilagay natin sa pampublikong mga ospital.
But the Department of Budget and Management argued that the government has already increased the budget of the Department of Health.
For DOH, there was an increase of 3.58 billion pesos for hospitals. So it is not true naman. I mean, na binabaan naman po yun sa DOH.
DBM officer in charge Undersecretary Tina Canda also said that the increase in the proposed budget of the NTF-LCAC funding is attributed to an increase in the number of barangays to be covered. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez clarified that the 2022 proposed budget is not exclusively for COVID-19 response.
COVID-19 is a problem. And definitely the budget aims to address that problem. But it is not only, this budget is not only a COVID-19 response problem. Response budget. It also responds to the needs of the entire Filipino nation, and that includes needs for education, needs for defense, needs for infrastructure, and the like.
The House of Representatives is eyeing September 16 as the target date for the passage of the proposed budget. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other news, presidential daughter and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio broke her silence yesterday on the political plans of her father, President Rodrigo Duterte. But the palace denies that the political issue between the father and daughter is just a form of drama or zarzuela. Rosa Dicos will tell us why.
Malacanang on Thursday appealed to the public to give President Rodrigo Duterte and her daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio to settle and decide on their plans for the 2022 national elections. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said in his press briefing that the issue between the two can be considered as a family affair.
Natatawa po ako kasi sa tono ni Mayor Sara, mukhang malinaw na hindi po ito zarzuela. So anyway, I leave it at that. As I said, it's a family affair.
President Duterte has accepted the nomination of PDP-Laban as their vice presidential candidate in the coming election. But he stressed that if his daughter decides to run for president, he will give way.
The president's stand remains. Delicadeza dictates that only one Duterte will run. So, since only one Duterte will run, and in his perception, the Mayor Sara will not run, then he can run for vice president. But, alam nyo, nothing is final until October. And meanwhile, this is a family matter. So, I would hope that the rest of the nation give the father and the daughter breathing space to discuss and agree on future course of action.
Meanwhile, Inday Sara said she bears no grudge against Senator Christopher Bongo in relation with his close ties with the president. The first daughter made clear that her father is allowed to have his friends and that there's no reason to be furious about it. Senator Christopher Bongo, on the other hand, also said he already spoke to Mayor Sara about the issue and that all is well between them. Despite the political controversies, Malacanang said President Duterte still prioritizes response to COVID-19 pandemic. He also decided to do so to continue his campaign against illegal drugs and corruption. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The faction of PDP-Laban President and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi maintains it will support the Go-Duterte tandem for the 2022 elections. But the group of Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel says that Senator Manny Pacquiao is now ready to fight his next fight, which is for the Filipino people. Harleen Delgado details why.
PDP-Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag remains firm that the ruling party PDP-Laban will field a Go-Duterte tandem in the 2022 elections. This after the palace confirmed that President Rodrigo Duterte is willing to bow out of the vice presidential race should his daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio runs for the presidency. However, the president's former aide-turned-Senator Christopher Bongo maintains that he is still not interested to run for the highest position. Should Senator Go decide not to run for the presidency, the ruling party is open to consider or explore other options.
Kasi speculation niya, so we'll just answer it when it's there. But in the meantime, ang sagot ko dyan, we will go through the process kung ano man yung mangyari. And we'll prepare for any eventuality kung ano man yung mga possibilities. Lahat naman yan napapag-usapan namin.
For the PDP-Laban official, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel and PDP-Laban Executive Director Ron Monsayak should apologize to Mayor Sara for supposedly dragging her into the party's issue. Pimentel counters this, saying that it is the Cusi faction that has been mentioning the presidential daughter and not them. Meanwhile, Matibag adds Secretary Cusi has offered Senator Manny Pacquiao to lead the party's senatorial slate. However, Pimentel seemingly dropped a hint of Pacquiao's bid for the highest post, saying that the senator is eager to fight his next bout, which is to fight for the people's rights and welfare. Pimentel adds the boxer-turned-senator looked very fit for a grueling nationwide campaign. The two factions will hold their separate national conventions next month. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Tarlac Regional Trial Court Branch 106 sentenced dismissed policeman Jonel Nuesca to reclusion perpetua after being found guilty of murdering Sonia Gregorio and her son Frank last December. Aside from facing up to 40 years in prison, Judge Stella Marie Asuncion also ordered Nuesca to pay damages worth 952,560 pesos. In its decision, the court said the victims were unsuspecting and never knew during the span of commotion and altercation that Nuesca had a gun. In a radio interview, Gregorio's lawyer, attorney Freddy Villamor, said the family was very appreciative of the judge's swift action on the case. The Philippine National Police and the Department of Justice welcomes the conviction of dismissed Senior Master Sergeant Jonel Nuesca. Dante Amento tells us why.
Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara commended the prosecution and the court judge for the speedy disposition or resolution of the case. It took 8 months to have the promulgation of judgment. Meanwhile, Philippine National Police Chief General Guillermo Eleazar stresses it only proves they will not tolerate erring cops in their ranks.
Justice is finally served with the conviction of former Police Sergeant Jonel Nuesca. Nauunawaan namin ang pakiramdam ng pamilya Gregorio na hindi ito sapat sa bayolenteng pagkawala ng buhay ng kanilang dalawang kaanak. Subalit ay pakita dito na umiiral ang hustisya sa ating bansa at kailanman ay hindi kinukonsinti ng inyong Philippine National Police ang mga ganitong uri ng pulis.
Nuesca's conviction will serve as a reminder that policemen are protectors of the people. General Eleazar further added they are also closely monitoring the case involving former Cop Master Sergeant Hensi Zinampan, who fatally shot 52-year-old Lilibet Valdez last June in Quezon City.
and we are confident that justice will also be served to the family of his victim, Lilibet Valdez. This will serve as a lesson that will constantly remind us that as police officers, we are the protectors of the Filipino people and not their tormentors.
Tarlac Regional Trial Court Branch 106 convicted Police Senior Master Sergeant Junel Nuesca for 2 counts of murder. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
For those watching our 24/7 live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook.
The Bureau of Quarantine continues to issue yellow card to Filipinos bound to foreign countries requiring certificate of COVID-19 vaccination upon entry. Moreover, the agency is scheduled to open more of its satellite offices for overseas Filipino workers traveling to Hong Kong. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The Hong Kong government has already agreed to allow entry of vaccinated overseas Filipino workers starting August 30, on the condition that they can present a validated COVID vaccine certificates issued by the Bureau of Quarantine. But the agency has been serving thousands of OFWs requiring international certificate of vaccination or yellow card. Thus, some are already experiencing difficulty securing an appointment on its website. To address this problem, the BOQ will open on Saturday additional satellite stations located in their main office in Port Area, Manila, SM North EDSA, and SM Mall of Asia.
Nag-announce po kasi ang Hong Kong government na starting August 30, tatanggap na sila ng Hong Kong OFW po ay na merong daladalang yellow card. Kaya po ang ginawa natin, this Saturday po mag-o-open kami ng 3 station namin para po ma-serve natin yung mga OFW na papunta ng Hong Kong na may OEC na o may flight details na po.
No walk-ins will be allowed and applicants should still secure a confirmed schedule of appointment through BOQ's online booking system. If there is no open schedule prior to the date of their confirmed flight, they will still need to book an appointment and send an email attached with their overseas employment certificate or OEC, flight itinerary, and passport to ofwicv@gmail.com, while Hong Kong-bound passengers will need to email at ofwinboundhk@gmail.com. The BOQ also warns the public to avoid transacting with fixers.
Yung pong mga nakikita nyo po sa mga Facebook, sa other social media na nag-offer po ng assistance sa booking po para po sa yellow card, wag po natin tangkilikin yun. Wala pong kahit na sino o kahit na anong agency na ino-authorize ang BOQ na mag-process ng booking system.
For further inquiries, applicants may directly contact Bureau of Quarantine through their social media account or phone numbers. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, 10 out of the 17 regions in the country have been classified as high risk for COVID-19. Aiko Miguel details why.
The Department of Health Epidemiology Bureau said the current COVID-19 risk classification for all 17 localities in Metro Manila stems from the high bed utilization rates or nearly full intensive care units. The growth rate of cases in the National Capital Region also increased by 10% to 63% in the past 2 weeks. The DOH also reported that as of August 25, 10 regions have over 70 to 80% utilized health systems capacity. This includes Calabarzon, Central Luzon, Cagayan, Northern Mindanao, Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Visayas, Ilocos, Davao, and Western Visayas. The entire Philippines is also currently classified as a high risk for COVID-19.
The challenge here is that more areas are actually under alert level 4, and that really spreads within our resources. And as you can see in this list, there are really regions that, if not all, then most of their areas are under alert level 4.
Also, the DOH observed that COVID-19 cases recorded this week are almost 3,000 more compared to last August 12 to 18 with 12,897 daily average cases. The DOH explains a new peak of cases will be seen in the coming weeks as a result of the implemented enhanced community quarantine in some areas has yet to be seen. The DOH says it is evident that prominent rise in COVID-19 cases are due to the Delta variant. Dr. De Guzman says of the 482 Delta cases in NCR, 358 of which are detected from barangay clustering. Currently, only the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BARM is the only region with no local Delta case. However, the DOH cannot yet declare a community transmission in the entire country.
It will be very difficult to declare community transmission nationally. Remember, we have 17 regions, and each region will have differing profiles in terms of Delta transmission. Meron mang community transmission, predominant man o hindi, ang Delta or any other VOC in our country, upon detection of these VOCs locally, we have put these responses in place.
With the expected rise of cases, the DOH and FASR has a projection that almost 45,000 active cases will be added to the current over 35,000 active cases in NCR by the end of August. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Overseas Employment Administration reiterated that recruitment and manning agencies are responsible in assisting overseas Filipino workers to get vaccinated. Marvin Calas will tell us why.
On August 30, the Hong Kong government will allow the entry of fully vaccinated Filipino workers with an international vaccination certificate. Furthermore, other countries are also seeking for Filipino workers in various work fields, including healthcare workers. This urged the Philippine Overseas Employment Agency or POEA to reiterate that recruitment and manning agencies are required to assist their applicants to getting vaccinated. OFWs from its former A3 category were recently considered under the A1 priority group.
Dahil po dito, kinakailangan po ipag-upayan ng mga agencies natin. Lalong-lalo na yung mga PAs, yung private recruitment agencies, licensed manning agencies or MMA, sa kanilang mga OFWs na dinedeploy. No? Naglabas po ng labor advisory ang POA para po primary responsibility ng mga agencies yan na tumulong doon sa vaccination ng ating mga OFWs.
According to POEA Administrator Attorney Bernard Olalia, OFWs are now allowed to select their brand of vaccine depending on their country of destination requirements.
Pero pag wala naman pong vaccine preference yung destination country, no, hindi po kinakailangang mamili yung ating OFW. Ang importante po sa lahat ay sila ay makakuha ng 2 doses of vaccine para po sila protektado at fully vaccinated.
The official also reminded all OFWs to know the requirements of their country of destination, including their existing health protocols. For more information and labor advisories from POEA, visit their website at www.poea.gov.ph. Marvin Calas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The country's pandemic task force will try to convince President Rodrigo Duterte again to allow holding face-to-face classes in areas with low cases of COVID-19. According to the palace, the president may consider it this time. Janice Henta explains why.
President Rodrigo Duterte awaits the presentation of the Interagency Task Force Against COVID-19 or IATF on the advantages of conducting pilot face-to-face classes. According to presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, the IATF may tackle it with the president before classes start in September.
Ang sabi ni Presidente, baka i-consider na niya ang pilot at least kapag marami na ang nabakunahan. Meron naman talaga mga lugar na napakatagal ng MGCQ, no? So baka po pwede po doon sa mga lugar na yon. Pero hayaan po muna natin magkaroon ng kumpiyansa ang ating Presidente na hayaan ito dahil ang Presidente po mismo ay ama at lolo ng mga nag-aaral sa mababang paaralan.
According to Department of Education Undersecretary Nepomuceno Malaluan, if President Duterte gives a go signal, 100 schools will be allowed for the pilot in-person classes, of which 95 schools are from elementary level, while 5 will be in senior high schools.
It will be a
confined or concentrated on early grades because that is the advice of the health experts. But we were able to ask for the inclusion of some senior high schools with respect to those that are requiring tech walk.
The Department of Education and Department of Health may release next week a joint memorandum circular containing the guidelines of the limited face-to-face classes. The Philippines is among the 5 countries that have not resumed in-person classes since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Other countries that have yet to reopen schools are Bangladesh, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF, among the consequences of keeping schools closed are learning loss, mental distress, missed vaccinations, and heightened risk of dropout, child labor, and child marriage. Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippines today posted 16,313 additional cases of COVID-19, bringing the total confirmed infections to 1,889,200. In its 4 p.m. bulletin, the Department of Health, or DOH, said the latest tally pushed the country's number of active cases to 131,921. Of these cases, 96.1% are mild, 1.3% are moderate, 1.1% are asymptomatic, 1.2% are severe, and 0.6% are in critical condition. 5 accredited testing laboratories failed to submit their data on time, the DOH noted. Total recoveries rose to 1,734,551 after 9,659 more cases recovered from the viral disease. The COVID-related deaths climbed to 32,728 with 236 new fatalities. Meanwhile, the overall global COVID-19 caseload has reached 213,994,053, while the deaths have surged to 4,465,103, according to the Johns Hopkins University. The U.S. has still the highest number of cases and deaths at 38,225,849 and 632,283 respectively, according to the CSSE. In terms of infections, India follows with 32,558,530 cases and 436,365 deaths. In terms of deaths, Brazil comes second with 576,645 fatalities. For those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook.
Most of the Filipinos evacuated from Afghanistan are already back in the country. But there are others who are still waiting to be repatriated as the tension escalates. Ray Pelayo has the details live.
Cargo transportation is still the main reason why some Filipinos are still waiting to be evacuated in Afghanistan. Based on the latest record of the Department of Foreign Affairs, there are 24 Filipinos are still in the said country, 16 of which already registered for repatriation. The president of the Samahang Filipinos Afghanistan, Glenn Gumpal, said that there are 6 Filipinos located in distant areas, and the only way for them to reach Kabul is via air travel.
Nagsara ngayon yung airport operation doon hanggang ngayon. Kaya hindi makabiyahe yung 4, sila Lawrence, hindi makabiyahe papuntang Kabul dahil walang sasakyan.
The incident has been already reported to the Philippine Embassy and they are now working for a possible evacuation. Gumpal also accounts how hard it was for him to leave Afghanistan.
Pinasakay kami doon sa C-130 na malaki na walang upuan. Sa sahig lang kami nakaupo. Ang dami namin. Kulang magkapalit kami ng mukha dahil ang dami namin eh. Ang problema walang face mask.
As of now, 185 Filipinos were already flown out of Afghanistan with the help of their employers. and the Philippine government. DFA said the Philippine government continues to work with governments and international partners to ensure the evacuation of the remaining Filipinos in Afghanistan. Diego?
Thank you, Ray Pelayo, for that live report.
And for the news abroad, efforts are being maximized by the United Kingdom Armed Forces as they continue to evacuate more than 11,000 people, including their citizens, from Kabul airport. Mary Jo Malariado tells us the details live. Yes, Mary Jo, please go ahead.
Good evening, Marielle. British Ministry Dominic Raab said that 2,000 people have been evacuated overnight and are operating at full speed. The evacuees included families with children from 1 to 2 years old. According to Britain's Ministry of Defense, 11,474 individuals have been evacuated from Afghanistan under Operation Pitting, which commenced on August 13 on Friday. More than 1,000 United Kingdom Armed Forces personnel are deployed in Kabul. This includes embassy staff, British nationals, and several nationals from partner nations. Since the Taliban seized power over Afghanistan earlier this month, the deadline for the withdrawal of foreign troops drew closer, which prompts Western nationals to speed up the evacuation process. This after seeing no extensions to the August 31 target date. The day before the end of the 20-year foreign military presence in Kabul, the Western nations and their allies evacuated more than 70,000 people, which is one of the biggest airlifts ever. Prime Minister Boris Johnson continues to push for a safe passage operation for the remaining people at risk in Afghanistan through the use of a civilian-run airport possibly operated by Turkey. Marielle?
Thank you, Mary Jo Malariado reporting live. A recent study revealed that the use of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine slightly increases the risk of heart inflammation. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why live. Paul, what were the findings leading to this conclusion?
Well, Marielle, based on the data from Claret Health Services, among every 100,000 individuals receiving the vaccine, 1 to 5 will likely develop myocarditis. According to medical websites, myocarditis is an inflammation of the heart muscle usually caused by a virus. The inflammation can reduce your heart's ability to pump and cause rapid or abnormal heart rhythms. The report published on Wednesday further stated that the rate is much higher for those who are infected with COVID-19, with 11 per 100,000 likely to contract a heart inflammation. Researchers also found that among 884,828 vaccinated individuals, 21 developed myocarditis, while only 6 developed the disease in unvaccinated group of the same number. Meanwhile, the paper was praised by Dr. Grace Lee of Stanford University for not only disclosing the potential risks of vaccination, but also the potential benefits. Just 2 days ago, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for people aged 16 and above, making it the first fully approved COVID-19 vaccine in the United States. Marielle?
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, for that live report. Social media TikTok is collaborating with National Cybersecurity Alliance in the United States to support the Cybersecurity Education and Career Resources Library. RK Llorca gives the details live. Yes, RK, good evening.
Good evening, Marielle. Cybersecurity, though one of the fastest growing sectors in technology, has created a huge gap of qualified professionals and lack of diversity in the talent pool. This was according to Lisa Plagmer, Interim Executive Director of National Cybersecurity Alliance, or NSCA, the United States' leading nonprofit public-private partnership promoting cybersecurity and privacy education and awareness. To fill the gap of millions of online security jobs and address the worldwide deficit in cybersecurity skills, NSCA launched the Cybersecurity Education and Career Resources Library. The video sharing app will serve as NSCA's technology partner to back the new online tool alongside key public and private partners. As for China-owned social media app, the partnership will form TikTok's broader effort to promote cybersecurity education to millions of its users. The launching of Cybersecurity Education and Career Resources Library kicked off in time for back-to-school season in the United States. The Resources Library will include curated content for students in kindergarten through 12th grade, as well as higher education, along with information for those seeking a change of career. Job training tools and mentorship programs can also be found through TikTok platforms, as well as interest and skills via hashtag learn on TikTok, STEM Live, productivity, book talk, and much more. Mariel, economic impact of cybercrime in the U.S. reached more than $13.3 billion, according to FBI's Internet Crime Report, while over 3 million online security jobs were left vacant in 2020 alone. Mariel?
Okay, so I understand TikTok is now leaning into a productive and educative app instead of entertainment and fun. Does it mean we won't be seeing people funny dancing and cranberry juice drinking skateboarders anymore?
Well, Mariel, I hope not, because TikTok is fun and it's been my form of entertainment since the pandemic. But seriously though, a ByteDance company who owned TikTok said people worldwide have increasingly turned to its platform and has become a destination for new interests and skills. I don't think they will stop the fun side bit of it, but they keep on reinventing their platforms in such a way that variety of people can use it. For instance, Mariel, last month, TikTok added a new resume option in the United States, which enables users to post personal job pitches. And that's the latest update. Back to you, Mariel.
All right, thank you for that live report, RK Liorca. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Mariela Toza reporting live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
Meanwhile, Food and Drug Administration Director General Eric Domingo confirms 29 of their employees tested positive for COVID-19. All employees have received their COVID-19 shot and experiencing only mild symptoms. DG Domingo says all cases are community acquired. Starting tomorrow, August 27, the FDA main building in Muntinlupa will be closed for disinfection.
Wish 1075, in celebration of its 7th anniversary, delivered various charitable activities to our fellow Filipinos. These include a food caravan in Cavite City, which benefited 100 children with disabilities who enjoyed hearty meals served with love for 7 days in a row. Let's watch this.
COVID-19 doesn't discriminate. It continues to affect the old and the young, the rich and the poor, and everyone in between, including those who have already been going through difficulties prior to the pandemic. Among these are persons with disabilities or PWDs.
Ang person with disability ay isa sa pinakamahirap na kondisyon. Andito lahat ng nararanasan, yung bullying, non-acceptance, discrimination.
Siyempre, ina akong sasaktan ako.
Inatusok-tusok siya ng kapwa niya bata. Napaiyak lang ako kasi yung buli-bulihin ng mga bata, bato-batuhin. Minsan nauwi ito, duguan. Di man makapagsalita kung tatanong ko kung sino nag-away sa iyo. Naiyak lang yan.
The global pandemic has brought 3 million more Filipinos to poverty. It also caused a disruption to the important services that should be provided to children with disabilities, some of the most vulnerable members of society.
Maraming pagsubok. Sobrang hirap. Siyempre mag-isa ang pinalaki yung mga anak ko. Mahirap masyado. Kaya kung tutuusin may mga ginamit lang na ang Diyos sa akin na tumulong para makakain kami sa araw-araw.
The parents of children with disabilities are in charge of taking care of the health, rehabilitation, and educational needs of their children. However, many of them struggle with providing their kids with even the most basic of needs, such as 3 square meals each day.
Ay kung di man ako maghanap buhay, paano naman? Di kami kakain. Ano lang ko sa Panginoon na bigyan pa ako ng lakas para makatrabaho. Baka uwi mo lang kahit kunti. Pakain ko dito.
Nung wala ako dito, ito ko naalala ko talaga. Pag yun sasabihin ako'y mawawala, mamamatay. Ito ang naiisip ko talaga.
Coinciding with the celebration of the 43rd National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week, Wish 1075 went to 13 Martires City, Cavite, to provide healthy meals for 100 children with disabilities for 7 consecutive days. This endeavor is one of Wish 1075's 7th anniversary projects.
Ang iba talaga yung walang-wala. Gusto kong matikman nila kahit pa paano yung katulad yung bigay nyo. Malaking bagay yun sa kanila. Maraming mga bata ang gustong makakuha niya.
Maraming salamat po. Sana po hindi po dito magtapos yung pagtulong nyo sa lungsod ng 13 Martires. Although talagang ginagawa namin ng paraan, pero hindi po sapat yung pondo po ng city government. So ito po yung sa amin ay napakalaking tulong. At alam ko pong pasasalamatan ng atin pong mga PWD presidents.
In cooperation with the Women with Disabilities, LEAP to Social and Economic Progress Incorporated, or WOW LEAP, a non-government organization that aims to help women with disabilities. The week-long food caravan held in the city was able to deliver a total of 700 packed meals to the selected beneficiaries.
So Wish 1075, nagpapasalamat kami sa binigay na oportunidad na magkaroon ng ganitong proyekto para sa mga person with disabilities. Happy anniversary rin and more power para sa inyo. Nawa ay mas marami pa kayong matulungan, lalong-lalo na ang sektor ng may kapansanan.
Love, indeed, is one of life's greatest gifts, and it can be shared with others even in the simplest of ways. Such a hearty meal cooked with care and packed with kindness. This simple gift of love can spark hope and bring comfort, especially during these difficult times.
And before we close, we will leave you with a final word, giving glory to God. From the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 7, it says, "With goodwill doing service, as to the Lord and not to men." And those are the reasons behind the news, August 26, 2021. I am Herlene Delgado.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, I'm Angelo Castro III.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Natatawa po ako kasi sa tono ni Mayor Sara, mukhang malinaw na hindi po ito zarzuela. No? So anyway, I leave it at that. As I said, it's a family affair.
Justice is finally served with the conviction of former Police Sergeant Jonel Nuesca. Nauunawaan namin ang pakiramdam ng pamilya Gregorio na hindi ito sapat sa bayolenteng pagkawala ng buhay ng kanilang dalawang kaanak. Subalit na ipakita dito na umiiral ang hustisya sa ating bansa.
I was the director for 4 months. Well, hindi ako binugbog ng mga doon, ng mga komentaryo doon. Pero dito, naku po, kawawa talaga. Pamilya ko po, mga kaibigan ko. Mabuti yung nakaintindi.